Welcome back. You're watching Morning Live. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, the featured artists have used both the traditional structure of a book and the contemporary interpretation of book objects to produce the limited edition artist books on show. The artists we are referring to are part of the Absa Gallery's latest group exhibition titled Bibliophilia, Turning the Pages, which runs until the 10th of March. The artists include Kathleen, Sawyer, Rosin, Shenaz, Mohamed, and Nieuwoudt. To tell us more, we're joined by the curator, Dawn Roland. Dawn, good morning. Give us the idea, the background to Bibliophilia, Turning the Pages, and what this exhibition is really about.
Good morning, Sam. Thank you very much for having me. Bibliophilia, Turning the Pages was an exhibition curated and put on at the Absa Gallery, where we have showcased 16 of our previous L'Atelier contestants, contributors over the last 30 years. We've done recent works, but we've got some old works, some new works, something to see.
According to the dictionary, Bibliophilia is the love of books. Talk to me about the significance of that title.
I'm smiling about it because anybody that's actually picked up a book knows it's a very intimate journey. It's not like going out to a movie or going out with friends. Reading a book is a very intimate moment with a book and yourself. The artists have put together their interpretation of books. Artists' books are works created by artists, so they are works of art, like any other medium. They're works of art that they've shared with us, and obviously their intimate personal journey with us.
Because that's quite amazing, because you know a book represents something completely different. It's very subjective when somebody and how somebody reacts and relates to that book, and even their history with that book, whether they were introduced to books by their parents or how they've built their confidence around it. So what was the brief to the artists?
The brief to the artists was for them to unpack their personal journey with the physical book. And we have some very interesting pieces from an existing book. Kathleen Sawyer's work, you've seen it with an existing book. We have some amazing, delicate works that are actually hand-bound and made books. Nieuwoudt, Stefan Erasmus. We have got book objects. We've actually got a glass book produced by Michael Maasveld with an embedded image in this glass book. Rosin's work, very interesting interpretation of unpacking a book.
When you walk through with the artists or talk with the artists about their selections and stuff, what kind of conversation does that spark? And does everybody have a love of books? Is it all happy, or some of it a little bit on the dark side?
Some of it's on the dark side, and that's why you need to actually come and visit the gallery. Have a look at the curated exhibition.
You get so excited. I really want to see it. You're so excited.
I think the big thing with Bibliophilia is the love of, and it's the love of the physical book. And if you look at where we've done with the journey with the artists, there's some darkness. It's a personal journey. We have journals, which are very intimate moments within the artist's environment. We have sort of pseudo-Freudian implications. We've got darkness. We've got Kathleen Sawyer is on Eurocentric fairy tales, but the dark stories behind those fairy tales and her personal journey of unpacking them is why you need to come and experience it. It's not going into a library, and a library is a magnificent space. It's actually taking something and taking the journey, putting on a set of gloves and turning the pages and making it yours.
I love this phrase that you've mentioned a couple of times, the love of the physical book. And I don't know, because as somebody who's in the media, I'm a little bit confused, because we either talk about book sales being down, people don't read anymore, people have lost their connection with the physical book, technology has taken over. How do we...
I'm going to do a little bit of a reference to Buzz Spector. Now, this is a very loose interpretation. When you go out to movies, girls get dressed up, you put on your makeup, you go out with the guys, you go out to an art exhibition, you're looking at visual art on a wall. When you go home and pick your makeup off, you curl up on a couch, you curl up into bed, you are very, very intimate with an article. You don't curl in a bath with an iPad or a Kindle or whatever else, no names mentioned, but you don't curl into a bath with that. You climb into a bubble bath with a glass of the champagne you've just been with other people with, but you've taken a personal journey. You're actually in the bath, you're turning the pages, and you can't get more intimate than that. And I think that's what we've asked the artists to do for this experience. And with them being L'Atelier contributors, we've got 30 years of experience to go through. We can actually look at and pinpoint artists that have either done and produced artists' books, or that we can see that there's a want or a love to be able to actually go into another sphere, which is a wonderful journey.
You talked about intimacy. Is that maybe one of the objectives of this exhibition, is for people to really reflect, to really be inward, to really connect on an intimate level?
One of the experiences is exactly that. When I said put on a set of gloves, the artist doesn't want you to look from a distance and actually look at the work on a wall.
They want you to
put on a set of glasses and gloves, put on your glasses and actually turn the pages and look at the delicate work they've unpacked. Or we've got one work by Kathleen, Sawyer, which is actually, she wants you to get dirty. She wants you to actually put smudge marks on. So there's no gloves. It actually says don't put on the gloves. And you can actually turn the pages and share your experience in terms of with smudged hands. You've had a journey with that book.
Sure.
One at a time, very intimate.
Because a good used book is not perfect. It's got smudges on it.
It's got its smudges and its broken glass and everything that goes with it.
Dawn Roland, she's the curator of the Absa Gallery's latest group exhibition titled Bibliophilia, Turning the Pages. The artists include Kathleen, Sawyer, Rosin, Shenaz, Mohamed, and Nieuwoudt, and it closes on the 10th of March. Google the details to find out more. It sounds amazing. Let's all go and check it out. Let's take it out.